So you just want to be friends? That's it? After this whole year and a half?
Tú no serás más mi novio ni yo seré tu novia. Seremos amigos si tú quieres.
Jimena has just shattered Mike's fairy tale and brought his world crashing down. This might just be the wake-up call that Mike needed, and from the outside looking in, it certainly feels like he's just reached his breaking point.
She's a mean, evil, cold.
So we join Mike and Jimena in this episode with Jimena having a catch-up with her mum and sister, and her sister in particular is ready to call her out on her lies.
¿Cómo va con Mike? Bien, ma, todo bien.
¿Sí? Mentira, ma. Si se la pasa peleando con Mai, ella como que no le tiene paciencia a Mai.
No le peleo.
Ella es toda dura con Mai.
When pressed as to what the problem actually is, Jimena brings back up the fact that she really can't stand Mike's habits.
Me deja preocupada. Yo creí que se iba a casar y creí que estaban bien las cosas entre ustedes, pero ay. No sé, ma, todo cambió. Es que él es muy raro. Por ejemplo, ayer le dije que un zapato de él estaba sucio. Y obviamente que es que entró al tanque a lavarlo dentro del tanque. Entonces es una persona cochina.
Now, here's the thing. I don't believe her, and I don't think it's the habits that are the problem. In fact, for the first time, she actually reveals that the problems run far deeper. She's just not ready to give up her freedom and settle down.
No sé. Creo que necesito tiempo para pensar bien las cosas. El matrimonio es muy sagrado y el matrimonio es un amarre. Para mí es difícil tener una persona para toda la vida porque, o sea, yo estoy muy joven y yo lo único que quiero es divertirme, gozar.
And I think that's the root of the problem. The habits, the cleanliness, well, that's a convenient excuse. But ultimately, when all is said and done, she just doesn't love Mike. He might be paying for her, but he hasn't been able to buy her love. So why should she have to give up her freedom for a man like that? The thing is, her sister and her mother both see things very differently.
Para mí la única persona que verdaderamente le ha demostrado amor incondicional ha sido Mike, pero pues ella no piensa como una mujer ya con sus 5 sentidos.
And that really shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone. We're talking about a lady who lived with a hitman, chose to have a kid with a man that was incarcerated, and by all accounts has made plenty of poor life decisions. The idea that she's just magically going to change now because of Mike is a fairy tale. So, while her mum and sister both urge her to be patient and communicate with him, Jimena just continues to be as cold as ever.
Amor, eres tan linda hoy.
Gracias.
¿A mí?
Te ves igual.
Okay.
Now, we'll come back to Mike and Jimena on their big night out shortly because that's where all the drama happens, but I want to quickly touch upon Mike's relationship with Jimena's family. It seems like they all really like him, and Mike is vulnerable and open enough to ask Jimena's mum for guidance.
I wanted to ask you something because you're Jimena's mom and you know her more than I do. Me and Jimena have been together for over a year now, and I feel like we're going backwards. Like, is that something I should worry about?
Pues ahí sí no sé qué decirle, Mike, porque pues he notado la diferencia de ella y todo y pues me siento mal.
And look, while that definitely seems to be stating the obvious, his next question results in an answer that gives him a glimmer of hope. He seizes upon this, and he almost uses what Jimena's mum tells him as a reason why Jimena's acting the way she is.
Do you have any good advice for me? Like if you were me, what could I do?
Ten paciencia, porque ella tampoco nunca ha tenido una relación seria, entonces pues ella tampoco sabe qué es tener una relación seria.
Mike seems really happy to have discovered this piece of information. The problem is, when he brings this up with Jimena, she laughs at the absurdity of it, and it turns out Jimena's mum wasn't exactly accurate.
Thank you very much. It gives me a little bit of comfort knowing that I'm Jimena's first serious boyfriend because it explains a lot. So I talked to your mom last night and she told me that I'm your first serious relationship.
Mentira. He tenido varias relaciones serias. Lo que pasa es que me aburro.
Uh-oh, that glimmer of hope didn't last long. Not what he wanted to hear, so he asks her, why do you want to get married? To which she responds, I don't.
Why do you want to get married then?
Porque tú querías casarte ligero. Pero yo en realidad no me quiero casar aún.
And still, even after that bombshell, Mike just takes it. He sweeps it under the carpet and makes yet more justifications for her.
Okay, your mom did tell me to be patient with you.
Bueno, tu mamá me dijo que tuviera paciencia contigo.
But it seems it's grinding him down, and soon he's about to reach his limit. After a game or two of pool, Mike and Jimena sit down for a chat. Mike asks,
Isn't it nice when we have fun together, just us?
and I can only assume from her answer that Jimena interprets this as Mike code for let's have some fun together alone again, just you and me, wink wink nudge nudge. Her answer shoots him down in no uncertain terms, just in case he really was hinting at sharing a bed again.
No, porque para mí primero están mis hijos que tú. Y divertirme con mis hijos es lo mejor que puede haber.
And that seems to be the last straw for Mike. This lady doesn't love him, she doesn't have fun with him, she doesn't want to get married to him. What is it she really wants, he asks.
And I'm really just tired of walking on eggshells, reading between the lines. I just can't stop thinking that your feelings changed when I stopped saying yes to buying everything.
Jimena is not happy at what Mike's implying at all. She goes on a rant against Mike, saying, it's your habits, I don't like you as a person. And in a super arrogant, super condescending kind of way, she also says to Mike, even though I don't like you, you're so pathetic, you still pay for my rent.
¿Qué? Tú tienes cosas que a mí no me gustan. Es eso que a mí me cambió totalmente los sentimientos. Y aún me pagas el arriendo, entonces no es por eso.
And without a hint of irony or sarcasm, she claims that it's Mike that's humiliating her.
Esto me ofende mucho, me da mucha rabia porque es una persona que lo quiere a uno no le dice esto, me está humillando, me está sacando las cosas en caro.
And look, I find it a little bit tough to swallow this whole act of feeling so offended given how she's been humiliating Mike this entire trip, but one thing she does say that I entirely agree with is Mike doesn't really know her at all.
Nunca me conoció, de verdad que no.
Jimena says to Mike, I don't want anything from you anymore, that's it, no more, don't pay for me ever again. The funny thing is, the second she says it, you can see the uncertainty in her face. It's almost as if she's thinking, oh crap, did I just make a massive error?
No me ayudas con nada y yo pago mis cosas.
Mike then asks her, so after a year and a half, is this it for us? To which Jimena says, yeah, that's it. We're not boyfriend-girlfriend anymore. But if you still want to be friends and maybe still want to pay for me, I'll leave that door open, Mike.
So you just want to be friends? That's it? After this whole year and a half?
Tú no serás más mi novio ni yo seré tu novia. Seremos amigos si tú quieres.
Thankfully, it doesn't seem like Mike's interested in just being friends, and in fact, he takes it one step further. Not only does he not want to be friends, he now wants to take back everything that he paid for.
Okay, anything I paid for, I want to take back with me to New York.
Si tú te quieres llevar todo lo que es mi casa, llévatelo todo.
That's such a playground response, isn't it? It's the sort of thing little kids do. I don't like you anymore, I'm not your friend, give me back my toy. And that pretty much sums up their entire relationship. He's just been so naive and immature this entire time, and the final straw for him is when he hears Jimena say,
Hoy termina nuestra relación, y es en serio.
With that, Mike gets up and starts running away from the cameras. Again, I can't help but feel that this is quite a childish response. Like on 90 Day Fiancé, we've seen countless relationships break down and end, but I've never seen someone run off like that. What's interesting is, while Mike's running away, Jimena's reaction reaffirms the fact that she's really not sure if she's just made the right decision. I can only assume that she's crying not for the end of the relationship, but more for the fact that she may have to get a job again. Now, if the previews for next week's episode are anything to go by, it seems like things are about to get a whole lot more childish.
I
pay the rent in this house, so I'm not leaving.
¡Te vas ahora!
She's a mean, evil, cold. Hija de p.
I, for one, can't wait to see it. And if you're the same, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss next week's video. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, you might also like some of my other videos that are on screen now. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next video.